On Capitol Hill. Peter, we are hearing, actually Phil Griffin emailed us a story. Joan Walsh just confirmed it.
Yeah.
The British think we're being a little too tough on poor Tony and British Petroleum. Do you think that the federal government's actually being tough enough?
No, I don't think so. Listen, I don't want to be taking cheap shots at Barack Obama. I thought, quite frankly, there were a lot of cheap shots taken at President Bush during Katrina. I have a great regard for Admiral Allen for the work he did with the Coast Guard. But I do think that the president has shown a lack of leadership here, and it's indefinable. But I think they were being too cute in the beginning. The first few weeks, the White House was afraid that if President Obama got too involved, it would become his tragedy. The fact is, it is his catastrophe, and he has to show more leadership, get involved. And but again, I'm not going to say that it would be better if he were doing more, but he does owe it to the American people, I think, to be more engaged. He should have been up front,
Peter,
and he's paying for that now.
You do understand, Peter, that behind the scenes, President Obama from day one was actually very engaged, told his White House staff this is job one, and ordered all of the agencies to throw the full force of the federal government behind this. I mean, we've got that. Actually, we've got the minutes of a meeting from April 22nd
it's
where he said
also
that.
in a press release released to the media.
So is this about substance, or is this about style?
It's both. It's about leadership. And the fact is, it did take them, 8 days to even declare this a matter of national significance. Leadership and style, Ronald Reagan had it, Franklin Roosevelt had it, John Kennedy had it, Bill Clinton had it in Oklahoma City. And you have to show, you have to connect with the American people. If you lose the American people on an issue like this, it can hurt your administration, for the next 2 years.
So, Peter, let me ask you technically, can you name one thing that you would have done if you were running the White House operation technically that Barack Obama did not do?
I would have paid more attention to Governor Jindal. I think Governor Jindal is showing leadership, and the fact that he wanted those berms off the coast, I think that is something that should have been done. They should have made more attention to him.
But if you put the berms off the coast, that pushes the oil over to Mississippi. That may be great for Louisiana. I don't think Haley would have liked that a whole hell of a lot.
Well, the thing is, the president should have engaged with Governor Jindal. He didn't engage with the Louisiana delegation, didn't engage with Governor Jindal, and he stayed away. And again, what more could President Bush have done with Katrina? The fact is, people like you were very critical.
He could have actually.
What could he have done? What could he have done?
Let me tell you. I'll gladly tell you. I went down to Katrina the day after, and I can tell you, unlike Florida the year before, where we had 4 hurricanes, FEMA wasn't there on the ground. The National Guard wasn't there on the ground. Hey, hold on a second. Let me finish.
National Guard is Louisiana.
You asked me a question. Let me answer, then I'll let you talk. This is one of the most obscene comparisons between Katrina and BP. I was on the ground from day one. I can tell you the federal government was not there. The state government was not there. The local government was not there. I saw children walking around in dirty diapers that they'd been wearing for 3 days, 4 days. I saw kids wandering the streets of Biloxi and across Louisiana without any water 3 days into it.
Joe, that is not
George
FEMA's
Bush
job.
have done a hell of a lot.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. That is not FEMA's job. That is the job of the mayor and the governor for the first 2 or 3 days.
Okay. I don't want to like Katrina. I told you what they could do. I'll tell you, the federal government.
And you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong, Peter.
You're wrong.
I'm in Pensacola, Florida. We have Ivan the year before, and they're flying supply planes in from Washington, D.C. the next day.
So the fact is,
FEMA's. I don't tell you what's happening in Long Island Sound. Don't tell me what's happening in the Gulf Coast.
I'm telling you that everything that was done could have been done. Until the federal government does not come until the 3rd or 4th day. That was a failure of leadership by Mayor Nagin, by Governor Blanco, and Haley Barbour did a great job in Mississippi. Bob Riley did a great job in Alabama.
Okay, well, let's go back to BP for a second here. We will agree to disagree, and I will tell you about Long Island Sound issues in the coming weeks and months. Let's talk though about it though. When you have the president of the United, well, actually, you know what? Let's turn here. We've had our little fight, Joan. Let's talk about what the president down.
Dan, you've got a problem.
And Peter King, that's what Pat Buchanan said earlier, not comparing this to the Watergate scandal, but he said they couldn't get anything done. Whether it was on the economy or foreign policy, China, Vietnam, because every day it was all about Watergate. Let me ask you, is this BP spill really overtaking Washington, D.C.? You look at the numbers that say Washington, not Barack Obama, but that Washington is handling this worse than they handled Katrina.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I have not taken shots at the president, other than the fact that I felt he should have been more engaged from the start, because it is important for the country to know that the president is engaged. Whether he is or not, they have to know that he is. No, this is becoming, it's really a slowly creeping issue, and I see the White House being bogged down in it. And I'm not going to take a cheap shot at him. I think they probably are doing all they can do, but no, this is grabbing hold of them, and I think they're very frustrated.
And Peter, when you're out in, you're the 3rd district, right? 3rd district of New York. When you're out there, it's so fascinating. 6 months ago, wherever I went, 3 months ago, everybody just talked about jobs. Forget healthcare, jobs. Now everywhere I go, they want to know about this leak. Is that what you're hearing, what other members of the Hill are hearing when they go home, wherever they are? When are you guys going to fix the leak?
Yeah, it's becoming a metaphor for Washington not getting the job done. It's almost like a Jimmy Carter type syndrome. It's like, if you guys can't even take care of this, what can you do? And that right now it's being directed at the president. Ultimately, it may affect all of us. No,
yeah,
Miki, you're right. It may not be fair. I'm just saying that's the reality. It's out there on the ground. Yeah.
You know, Peter, I think Peter's exactly right. This is gonna have an impact on all of Washington. So, hey, Peter King, thank you so much.
It's always great.
Always great talking to you. We love you. Peter, Long Island guy. Did you used to live out? You lived on Long Island for a while.
Oceanside, yeah.
Oceanside, all right. Yes. You know, I love those. I love those Long Island congressmen. We have Anthony Weiner on. We have Peter King. They're all fighters.
They're great
on both sides of the aisle, but they are so alive and will come on and boom, fight.
Yeah, Al D'Amato lived one town away.
Al D'Amato. But let's talk about this really quickly.